Hello students. So today I will talk about some conceptual discussion on power quality. I hope that this discussion will enhance your knowledge, your understanding, your way of expression about the power quality in power system. So it is often seen that students have some confusions on various power terms, various power components. So we will try to understand these power components and differentiate between them and how they have been derived and denoted. So I will talk about those aspects. Now to start, we will consider a single phase system as shown in this figure. You can see it here. This is single phase system. Okay, and this is having the load which is combination of RLC, you can see it here, and it has a source which supplies the voltage, and it has a current which is flowing in the circuit. This is very general description. Okay, so in general, single phase system, AC system is like this. You have a source, you have a voltage, you have a current. Now this voltage source is AC source, so it has a magnitude given by root 2B, which is also called as peak voltage or maximum voltage, BM. And sine omega t, since it is AC nature, so it has a frequency of omega, and omega is given as 2 pi f. So 2 into pi into f, f is the supply frequency, and f is normally 50 hertz for our country, and it is 60 hertz for some countries. Okay, and once we apply a voltage across the load and the circuit is closed, the current flows. The current can be expressed by root 2 I sine omega t minus phi. This is true in general. So you may have different magnitudes and different phase angle depending upon the impedance. For example, in this particular case, we can find the I as B by Z simply. Okay, since P is the reference phasor, so I can take the angle here actually. So minus theta Z. So minus theta Z actually the phase angle. So phi is being taken as theta in this particular case. And what is Z? Z is the amplitude of the impedance. Okay, so Z could be R square plus XL minus XC square square root, and theta Z could be tan inverse XL minus XC by R, and so on. The point is that you can calculate the current, and the current has also the magnitude and phase angle, and this can also be written as IM. Okay, and this is as a BM. But normally we express in terms of the RMS values, rather peak values, because RMS values are very relevant for AC quantities as they are equivalent to DC component. So once we know the voltage and current, then we can find out the power. The power is the product of voltage and current. The dimension of voltage and current is the wattage, the power. You can see it here. The voltage is nothing but the work done per charge, W by Q, see it here. And the current is Q by T, charge per time. So Q will cancel. We have a W by T, which has a dimension of power. So once we apply voltage, current flows, power is formed, and the power is equal to the product of voltage and current. Now since we are using the instantaneous voltage and currents here, okay, therefore it forms instantaneous power. See check the name, instantaneous power. Remember, all instantaneous quantities are denoted by a small letter. For example, small voltage, okay, then small current, then small p. All these are instantaneous quantities and they are being denoted by a small letter. This is very important to understand. Never use capital letters for the instantaneous quantities. This is standard notation in electrical engineering. RMS values are denoted by capital values. For example, V. This V is the RMS value. Okay, this is the RMS value of the voltage. And I is the RMS value of the current. So we use capital letter for them. Similarly, B bar is the phasor voltage. It has a magnitude and phase angle. I hope you understand. You all have been gone through all these courses, but just to refresh what are different components. So this is called instantaneous power and it has a dimension of the watts because this is W by T, joules by second. So finally this expresses the power. Since it is the product of instantaneous voltage and current, it forms the instantaneous power. Okay, there is no term associated with it now, like active, reactive, imaginary, oscillatory, average, nothing. Simply this is called instantaneous power. Now let us find out what is this power. Okay, now I have shown this also in terms of the graph. You can look at this. The voltage which is the supply is here. So this is the voltage, okay, and this voltage is applied to the load. After that the current flows through it. So we have a current. This is the current here. Okay, the phase angle between them is phi. As you can see from this phase lag is phi for current. Okay, so this is phi. This is the expression, this is the plotting of the instantaneous voltage and currents for this system. Okay, so this is for this system. Now once I know that this is my system, therefore I multiply voltage and current. So you can see it here. This is the multiplication of voltage, this is the voltage and this is the current. If I multiply them, I will get B into I here, which being formed from this B and from this I, and then 2 sin omega t into sin omega t minus phi. Now this is 2 sin A sin B. As you know from the trigonometry, 2 sin A sin B is nothing but cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. Okay, so we will use this expression for this and find out what is the multiplication of 2 sin omega t into sin omega t minus phi. It becomes cos phi minus cos 2 omega t minus phi. This is cos A minus B. This is cos A minus B minus cos A plus B. So we have Bi cos phi minus cos 2 omega t minus phi. Now as you can see, the cos phi is a constant term. There is no time function involved here. So therefore I can separate them out. So first term is Bi cos phi and the second term is Bi cos 2 omega t minus phi. Okay, let us call it first term and let's call it second term. Now you can see that the first term is a constant term. B is constant, I is constant, and cos phi is also constant. For a given phi, this is constant. So this is called as the average value of instantaneous power. And this is denoted by P bar. P bar. Okay. What is P bar? Bar means the constant value. So P bar is known as the average power. This is also called as real power. This is also called as useful power. It has many names. And sometimes it is simply called as power. Simply power. Nothing else. When the engineers use the term power, actually he means the real power, the average power, the useful power, the wattage power actually. So this is that power, Bi cos phi. You know Bi cos phi is the average value of the real power. The next term is here, second term, this one, which is Bi cos 2 omega t minus phi. Now this term has double frequency and it is function of time. So this term is called as the oscillating power. Okay, the name is oscillating power. So let us write it, P tilde. This is denoted as P tilde, which means actually the oscillating or time varying component of the power. This is called oscillating power. This is also called the imaginary power. This is also called the non-useful power, fictitious power. You can also put the name fictitious power. Okay, so it has many names like the other ones. But this expression is not very useful. It is okay that we can understand that any instantaneous power has an average component and it has a oscillating component. Okay, average component and oscillating component. The average component is the real power, is a constant power, and the oscillating component is a function of time with the double frequency of the supply, and its average value is 0. Fine. After that, we have another expression for instantaneous power. That expression is actually Pt, instantaneous power, equal to Bt into It. So again the same process, Bi into cos phi minus cos 2 omega t minus phi. This we already have found out earlier. So this has come from this directly. Now we will expand this particular term, cos 2 omega t minus phi. This is cos A minus B, and the expression is the cos A into cos B plus cos plus sin A into sin B. This is the expression for cos A minus B. Minus sign is here. Now with this minus sign, if I collect the coefficients of cos phi and sin phi, we will get this term Bi cos phi at one place into 1 minus cos 2 omega t, and the next term we will get as Bi sin phi into sin omega t. Okay, and this actually says that there are two terms. Now each term, this is sin 2 omega t, please correct this. This is sin 2 omega t, not omega t. So write it again, sin 2 omega t. Okay, now you can see that this has two terms, again similar to the previous one, but now both the terms are function of time with a double frequency. Sin 2 omega t, this is 1 minus cos 2 omega t. Okay, this is 1 minus cos 2 omega t, you can see here, and this is sin 2 omega t. So both have double frequency, and therefore this forms the two components. They are called as the P active and P reactive. This is P instantaneous. In other words, we can say that the instantaneous power Pt is sum of instantaneous active power called P active plus instantaneous reactive power. Okay, instantaneous reactive power. There is some problem here, I will correct this. Instantaneous reactive power called P reactive, function of time. Okay, this is also written here, P active plus P reactive. Now, what is the criteria of calling them active and reactive power? What is the basis of that? Can I call the other way? The first one is reactive, the second one is active. Why suddenly I have idea of active and reactive components? Okay, so for that we have to understand the nature of these components and why they have come here. Okay, so in the following discussion we will make this clear why they are denoted as active and reactive components and why this particular term active and reactive. All right, so you were talking about this term active and reactive components, okay, and we just have introduced the term instantaneous active power, instantaneous reactive power. So first question is, why this particular name of instantaneous active and reactive components? Now let us try to understand one more term, okay, before we go further. The first term is the first term is capital P. Okay, so this is capital P here. Now capital P is denoted as Pi cos phi. In this active and reactive components we have the term capital P. Note it here. So P into 1 minus cos omega t. We also denote the next term as Q into sine 2 omega t. Please correct it. This is sine 2 omega t. So I will make it sine 2 omega t. Okay. So what is P? Obviously P is Bi into cos phi, a constant term. And Q is also a constant term, Bi sin phi. So we describe this P as P equal to Bi cos phi, and as I said earlier, this is called the average power, this is called the real power, or simply called the power or useful power or wattage power. Many names. And by expression it is equal to average of the instantaneous power. So I have taken Pt into dt and integrated over period 0 to t 1 by t. Okay, so this forms the active average value of the active power, or simply power. This is also equal to the average of the P active, because P active is Bi cos phi 1 minus cos 2 omega t. The average value of 1 minus cos omega t is 1. Okay, and hence the average value of therefore P active is same as the average value of the instantaneous power, which is equal to Bi into cos phi. Okay, one more thing here. This active power is also called the unidirectional power. Please remember, it has a special name, and this is called unidirectional power. Why it is called unidirectional? Because it is always positive. If you see this P 1 minus cos 2 omega t, okay, so you see cos 2 omega t is plus minus 1, and therefore this varies from 0 to 2, and hence the value of 1 minus cos 2 omega t varies from 0 to 2. It is never negative, and hence this is called unidirectional power. So unidirectional power or active power, they are same concept. Okay, we can denote by both the names. And the definition of Q is, remember, maximum value of the peak value or peak value of the P reactive component. There is very unique difference between these two terms, P and Q. They look similar. So P is the average power. But Q is the maximum value of P reactive. This is not an average value of anything. This is the peak value of the second term, that is Bi sin phi into sin 2 omega t. So Bi sin phi is the peak value of sin 2 omega t. Okay, so first thing, remember, the way they are defined is entirely different. You may be thinking that Q is perhaps the average value of something. This is not average value of anything. This is the maximum value of the P reactive component. And P is the, of course, average value of P active component. Okay, so this is the difference between the P and Q definitions. Now these powers are shown here. You can look at this diagram. You can plot yourself using MATLAB. Just define B and I and just multiply them and plot these powers and find out different components. So if you see, this is actually PT. The PT is product of V into I. Okay, so this term forms nothing but P. You can see there, this start from here, here, here. This is the P. Okay, this is the P. So P has the positive and negative values over a cycle, and frequency is double. Actually, it oscillates double frequency of the power supply frequency, but therefore the cycle for the power is from this point to this point. Okay, this is one cycle for the power cycle. Okay, from here to here, and you can see from this point to this point there are two kinds of thing. The first thing is the negative value is from here to here. You can see this is negative value, and positive value is from here to here. This is the positive value. And if you find the average component of positive and negative, and that becomes the real power. So you can see the average value is this one, Bi cos phi. This is the average component from here to here. This is the net power being pumped into the load for a one cycle of the power, and therefore this component becomes the real power. So you can see this is the real power. This is the average value of the P. And then you can see there is a P active. What is P active? From here, you can look from here, this is P active. P active is nothing but the product of P into 1 minus cos omega t, which is called unidirectional power. Okay, so this is the P active, and I can indicate this here. This is the P active. And so on. What is P reactive? P reactive is minus Bi cos sine phi into sine 2 omega t. So this is the P reactive here. This is the P reactive. Okay. So P reactive is product of the here minus Bi sine phi sine 2 omega t. Okay. So this is shown by this color here. This is the P reactive, so I'll put it here. This time is the P reactive. You can see the average component of P reactive is always equal to 0 because it is kind of a oscillatory term. Okay. So now we have understood these components: instantaneous power, which has two components, active instantaneous power and reactive instantaneous power. Active instantaneous power is also called as unidirectional power, okay, whose average value is same as the real power, which is also the average value of the instantaneous power. Now once we understand this, the basic question was that why we should call the first term as active power and the second term as reactive power. So we have to go little in more detail about this. Okay, we have to take the help of the phasor diagram and try to understand the active and reactive component. Now as I said in the beginning that this is the voltage. Okay, so this is the voltage here and this is the current here. This is the current here, multiply these two becomes power, as you have seen earlier. Okay, so I have to multiply Bn, Bt and It, but before we multiply B and It, we will try to decompose this current into the two forms. One is called the in phase component and the second is called the phase quadrature component. This is in phase component, this is phase quadrature component. Here we have expressed these instantaneous voltage and current in terms of the phasor notations. So we can denote these quantities in phasor form as B var equal to B angle 0 and I var is equal to I angle minus phi. And this is how we denote in terms of the phasor diagram, that we have a B here which has a B and angle of 0 here, and we have a current which has a I magnitude of I angle of minus phi. Okay, so phi lags the voltage. Now this I has two components. The one is the real component. If you see it here, this is the real component. Okay, then we have a imaginary component which is here. This is imaginary component. Okay, and this value is therefore I cos phi, this is I sin phi. So I have substituted here, put it here, I real part is I sin phi, or in phase component you can say if you want, in phase component, and this is quadrature phase component. Ix, x for quadrature, and its value is minus I sin phi because this is downwards. So therefore we can say the in phase component form the active power, because there is no phase shift and the power will be dissipated, absorbed by the load. And the reactive component is the one which forms 90 degree from the voltage. So therefore we define the two terms. Number one, I active equal to IR, R for real component is root 2I cos omega t into sin omega t, because this is in phase, so sin omega t. And this is the RMS value of the real current, I cos phi. I cos phi is here, so this is I cos phi. Therefore root 2 into I cos omega t into sin omega t. And I reactive is nothing but IXT root 2 I sin phi sin omega t minus 90 degree. Now I have not taken minus sign here because the minus sign is being considered in the phase angle as minus 90 degree. You see it here. Okay, so this current lags the voltage by 90 degree. So there are two components, and if you sum them, I active plus I reactive, then we will get the same current as I instantaneous. Therefore we can express this term as P is equal to B into I. So this is Bt into IR plus Ix, or you can say IR plus Ix, or you can say I active plus I reactive. Just we have found what are the active and reactive components. Okay, if I sum them, I will get IT anyway. So these two terms makes I. Now we will separate them out. So we will combine this B with this B, I, and this B with this I. Okay, this forms B into I active plus B into I reactive. And this means I have to multiply two sign terms. So root 2b sin omega t is the term for the voltage, as you can see, and it's also here. And then we have a root 2I cos phi sin omega t in phase component of current, I active component, and root 2I sin phi into sin omega t minus phi is the reactive component of the current. Okay, so this is basically I reactive, and this is I active. Now let us use the same formula. This is root 2 bi, so bi will come this side here, so this is bi here, and bi into cos phi term is here, and this becomes 2 sin square omega t. Okay, note this is 2 sin square omega t. The second term, which is being formed from the reactive component of current, is equal to minus bi sin phi for the first one, and this is 2 sin omega t, this side 2 sin omega t minus cos omega t, because sin omega t minus 90 degree becomes minus cos omega t. So this becomes minus, sign will come here, and it becomes bi sin phi into 2 sin omega t cos omega t, and here it is bi cos phi, this side bi cos phi here, this into 2 sin square omega t. Now we can express this side 2 sin square omega t and 2 sin omega t cos omega t, because this is nothing but sin 2 omega t, and this is nothing but 1 minus cos 2 omega t. So you see that 1 minus cos omega t term has come from the active component of the current, and therefore we have called this power as P active. Now you know why we have called this P active. Okay, And why we have called the second one as P reactive? Because it has come from the reactive component of current, the phase quadrature component of the current. This has come from the in phase component of the current. Okay, so that's how they call P active and P reactive. So now you understood today the various components of power in single phase circuit and their interpretations. One thing I have to add here, that I did not discuss about the dimensions of these powers. So I will add here the real power dimension P, okay, is defined in terms of the watts, in watts, okay, W, then we call it simply W. And the power for the Q is defined in terms of the reactive bars, VAR, volt ampere reactives, volt amperes reactives. So these are dimensions of P and Q. I will discuss more on these lines in next class, in which we will define some more power components like apparent power, the power factor, how they are related. Okay, that point I will take in the next class. So I hope you understand the way we define powers, how they have been defined, what are the reasons behind that, why they are called instantaneous power, and why they are called active power, reactive power. Okay, you also have learned different components like the average component or imaginary components, and also you have learned how to define how the P and Q are defined, capital P and capital R Q are defined, and how we denote these different power components, as well as electrical quantities like voltage and currents. Okay, we also have derived the relationship for power by decomposing the current into active and their reactive components. Okay, this is very fundamental study, and we have come back from that and we justified that why they are called as active and reactive components. So P instantaneous is being called as sum of the active and reactive components, which have some other components as a function of the frequency, as well as the power factor, cos phi, and the RMS value of the voltage and currents. Okay. So some other fundamental discussions I will continue in the next class.